Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be featuring a new game for great games for your collection. Now this game is called Nano Assault Neo X, and this is a twin stick shooter that sells for $9.99 plus tax in the PlayStation Store. And this is a really unique arcade style twin stick shooter. I highly recommend this for anyone who loves twin stick shooter games because this one is really unique. It's really cool on how the stages kind of rotate with you while you're moving around your nanobot, because in this game you play as a little micro nanobot that's inside of a body, and your mission is to protect the cell. And you're trying to purify the cell and remove anything that's trying to contaminate it and destroy the cell. So you have all these multiple different weird organisms that are traveling around and inside sometimes of the cell, and sometimes it'll burrow out. I mean, the enemies are really unique in this game, and you have to destroy all of them. And I don't really think there's a time limit, so you can really take your time, move around the entire cell, and destroy all the harmful organisms that are trying to destroy the cell. And once you have destroyed enough of them to purify the cell, you move on, you gotta find the exit, and you leave, and you go on to the next area. Now, there are so many levels within each world, kind of like the Assault Cactus game, the other twin stick shooter. It's kind of like that. So each world, or each cell in this case, has several different levels that they look completely different from one another, but they're all connected to that one cell. They're all different areas of that particular cell. And once you have purified each stage, then you have to take on that stage's boss. So each world has a final boss that you have to beat in order to move on to an entirely different cell, which will be a completely new themed area, new enemies that you have to face, and another boss at the end of each one. And I believe that there are 4, so we're going to do single player. Yes, there's 4. These are the worlds right here. Now you can see the first one is the only one that I can select, and there's other levels down below. Now those other 3 are other cells that you can go to, and you have to try to purify. And at one time I actually did play this game all the way through to the final one, which is Sigma, and it got very difficult. This game is very challenging, and I really like that. I love that it gives a great challenge, and I got very close to beating this game, but I never actually finished it. And I ended up moving on to another twin stick shooter, and I ended up getting Mortal Kombat 11, and I ended up starting to play those, and I kind of forgot about this, which I regret. So now I'm going to have to replay, and that was on another profile. That was on another one that I had, a family profile that I share with family and friends. But on this profile that I started for the channel, I haven't done any of that yet. I've only just restarted playing this again. So I am determined that I am going to play this all the way through and actually beat the game one day. But I'm going to show you some gameplay, show you how it works. And unlike Assault on Cactus, where you have to hold the trigger, this one you only need your dual sticks to actually play. However, I do believe that there is bombs and grenades and certain power-ups that you can pick up that I'm not sure if you use the trigger or the shoulder buttons. I'm not entirely sure yet, because again, I've kind of forgotten. I have to re-get into it again. So I'm kind of going to be testing the controls again as I'm playing. But you only need the left to move and your right joystick to fire. You don't need to hold down the trigger or anything. But what I really love about this one that makes it unique is that as you're moving around, this is the cell that you're on, pretty much the giant world that you're on. I ran right into that enemy, I'm not paying attention. And what's unique is that it rotates with you. So as you're moving around, the entire cell rotates, which really gives it a unique feel. I really love that feature about it. I love the graphics, the game looks gorgeous. It really has that really cool classic arcade feel to it. The controls are very smooth, very responsive. Now this is one of the enemies that actually burrows within the cell, and it will keep coming up, and you have to destroy it as it's making its way up. And then you have these other enemies that are constantly coming at you. So you always have to be on guard, because there's always enemies coming right for you. Now, I have not played this in a while, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to really get warmed up to get back into it again. But this was always one of my favorite twin-stick shooters that I owned. And it's quite a challenging one as well. I would say this one's definitely a little more challenging than, say, like Demon's Crystals and even Assault Cactus. I would say this one's even a little more difficult than those, especially in the later stages. But I just love how it rotates. That's really cool. I gotta start focusing more. I'm really focusing more on talking about the game than actually playing it. I really gotta focus more. So I stop dying. Now there are different power-ups that you can grab for different ammo, like in most twin-stick shooters, that will change the look and firepower. Now see that door that opened up there? If I had gone through that, that would have purified the entire cell. All the enemies would have died, and you basically would have moved on to the next part of this particular world. I'm going to try to focus more this time. So forgive me if I'm quiet at times. I'm just going to try to focus more. Try being the key word. There's always a lot going on here. You have to constantly be trying to move around and avoiding enemies. Now these little green things here are currency in the game. The more you collect of those, they are the currency in the game. And there is a shop that at the end of the level, at the end of each stage, you will be taken to a shop where you will have the option to pick up certain power-ups, certain things that will help you fight enemies. So that's pretty cool because it will customize the gameplay, because you can pretty much choose between a lot of different things to help you battle the enemies. I don't even know what hit me there. I didn't even notice what hit me at that point. I think it was probably his fire here. But you can see there's power-ups that will sometimes change the look of your firepower. Some of them will give you 2 or 3. So you don't just have one beam of fire. Now, exit open means that this is the area where you have to travel to within a certain length of time. You are on a time limit to reach this exit. And when you reach it, any enemies that are left will instantly die, and the cell will be purified, and you will move on to the next area. So this cell is purified. All of the enemies have been destroyed. We have killed the necessary amount to move on. And now we're moving on to the next area. And then this here is the shop where you can choose items. At the top it shows how many credits you have. Currently right now we have 2,200, and you can select whatever item you like here. You can even select multiple to help you in the next stage. You don't always have to spend all your money. You can save it to work your way up to being able to buy like the 2,000, 3,000 priced options. You don't always have to spend your money every time. So you see how we're still now in the same area. But you see how this cell looks completely different than the last one. This one looks very inflamed. So this has a very fire, magma-like look to it. And you have these giant worms. They kind of look like mutated earthworms. So a lot of the bosses in this game, if I can remember right, they look like bugs as well. Now I've been really getting back into twin stick shooters lately because I really love these kind of games. I love how challenging they can be. I love the ease of playing them. And now I got to start over again because I'm too busy talking instead of focusing. But I really love twin stick shooters. I love how easy they can be for the gameplay. Not necessarily easy in, you know, how challenging the enemies are, but they're pretty much easy. You just point where you want to shoot, and you don't have to worry about trying to aim at a certain target. Like, say, games like Apex or Overwatch, where you really have to focus on your aim. So it makes it easier for people like me who are not the best with their aim in shooter games. It's just as easy as just aiming with your thumb. But I love the look of this game. I love the play style of it. It's very challenging. I like the music. The music is really great. Darn. Trying not to get hit there. Where is he? There he is. Alright, so we killed the necessary amount of enemies to move on. So let's see if we can get out of here without being destroyed. Now, if you don't make it to the door on time before the countdown's over, you basically lose. The cell will not be purified and it will be destroyed, and you will have to replay it. That'll help bring collectibles like power-ups and money and stuff. That'll help guide it to us, so we don't have to be as close. It'll help bring them to us. See now how they kind of come our way when we get closer to them. So I have been really getting back into twin stick shooters. I kind of gave them a break where I wasn't playing them for a while, but I've recently been getting back into them, and they are so much fun. It is one of my favorite genres of video games is twin stick shooters. Now, sometimes you can get extra lives. Alright, so I just pressed my right shoulder button, or right bumper, and that is indeed how I use one of my power-ups here. So if enemies get too close, you can press this. You can see how it lasts for only a short period of time, but definitely can get you out of some tough situations if enemies get too close. I do believe you can only use them so many times, so you really want to save them when you're in a really bad predicament. You don't want to use them like constantly spamming, because I do believe there's a limit on how many times you can use them. I don't know if the amount of times you use them carry over into the next stage or if they refresh. I don't really remember. So you're able to reuse them the max amount of times again in the next stage, or if you're limited in each world to how many times you get once you purchase it. I'm not 100% sure. Because again, it's been quite a while since I played this. But I am determined I am going to replay this and beat it. Now, I haven't done full game playthroughs yet on the channel. I may do them in the future, but sometimes they might be quite time consuming. I know that there are people who do 6 hour, sometimes 7 hour streams, but I have a difficult time sitting through streams that long, so I can only imagine other people trying to sit through, watching my videos being that long. And I can watch a stream if it's an hour or two. Sometimes I have watched streams that are 5 or 6 hours, but far and few at times. I don't watch them a whole lot, because that is a long period of time to watch a stream. Now, if it's a game you really like and you're really into it and you like the YouTuber, then of course it's easier to watch the stream, but that's still a long period of time. And I would rather play the game than sit and watch somebody else play it for 5 hours. Like, again, now what's cool about these enemies here is that they're kind of camouflaged. They're clear at first, but when you fire on them, they have like a weird ripple effect that shows them. Their camouflage weakens, and you see them more. Makes them easier to see as you're shooting them. But if you're not looking closely, you can run right into them and not even notice them. So that's really unique. I like that. Kind of like the Predator. He kind of has like the Predator, if you're familiar with those movies, how they can kind of go semi-invisible. But maybe I will do full game playthroughs in the future. But those streams, I'm not sure how long they will be. I'm sure they'll be longer than what I usually do. And if people seem to enjoy those, I will continue to do them. But again, I realize that sometimes those streams can be pretty long. And if I can't sit through streams that long, then I imagine it's probably difficult for most people. That's why I try to keep my streams a little bit more short and sweet. I don't even know what I ran into there. There must have been one in there that I didn't even see, didn't even realize. Or maybe one of them shot at me. I didn't even notice what killed me there. Doing a little bit better this time. Now that I'm actually kind of focusing a little more. But I try to keep my streams short and sweet, giving valuable information about each game, Trying to include as much valuable information on them as much as possible, while trying to keep them watchable and not too long. But if I do eventually start doing full game playthroughs and I see people enjoy them, then I'll consider doing longer streams and full game playthroughs. We'll see what the future holds. I'm totally for doing those kind of streams if I know people would like to see them. Oh, this is a bonus stage. These bonus stages are pretty cool. Now this will give you a chance to pick up bonus money, but there will start... Now you see how we're dragging, and normally they wouldn't come to us like this. That's the power-up that I grabbed that I knew would be beneficial on these stages. But now you'll see there's obstacles, and you have to try to dodge these obstacles and make it all the way to the end. If you hit one of these obstacles, it's game over. I mean, not entirely, but game over for the bonus, see, which I did right here. We lasted 35 seconds. That's a cool little bonus stage, which it gives you the ability to gain more money. Should I get the extra life? Should I get the nano gauge? I guess I'll get the extra life. Now this here is the first boss of this world. So we have to defeat this boss in order to move on to the next cell, the next world. And sometimes the moving around of the cell does kind of throw me off a little bit. I really do like the effect. Sometimes it does throw me off. I think I just have to keep a greater distance away from him, not be as close. I was getting close because I was going to try to use that the beam that surrounds me on him, because I think that would do more damage, but at the same time I think that's risky, so I'm going to try to keep more of a distance from him. But sometimes the cell moving and him appearing at a distance kind of throws off how close or how far I actually am away from him. But I still rather have the effect than not have it, because I think it's really cool. And it's just one of those things you have to adjust to. And we defeated the first boss. And the good thing is that once you defeat a boss and you move on to the next level, you won't lose your progress. So if you have to stop here and we got a trophy, only 60 seconds. But the good thing is that it will save your progress. We got another trophy. And now we have moved to Cell Cluster, so that's what it's called, Cell Cluster Zeta. And this game saves your progress, so now that we've made it here to Zeta, we will never have to repeat those other stages, all the ones we just played through. Now this is the world record ranking of where we're at here. It shows you that. So the good thing is you will never have to repeat stages. Now the Zeta has become unlocked, and you see the next 4 areas we will have to complete in order to move to Omicron and then Sigma. So if you want to repeat these stages, you always can, but you can move on, and I like how they show you kind of like a preview of what each world looks like. That's pretty cool. So we're going to try a little bit of Zeta, see how I do. I could have swore I got him before he hit me, but okay. Now you can see there's a lot of areas blocked off here, not as much room to move around, and enemies can be hiding around any one of these things. You notice they make the enemies much smaller so that you don't notice them as much.
Guaranteed.
And there's not a lot of room to move around, so you really got to be careful, because the enemy can sneak up on you. They look like little ticks or little fleas. Alright, so I would say they're the mini ticks. These are the big ticks. I keep forgetting to use this. Again, I'm using right bumper. I usually say shoulder buttons, but I know a lot of people say bumpers. These enemies also have a lot more life, so they will take more shots to kill them. Came up from behind me, I didn't even notice it. And right when I did notice him, it was too late. I couldn't even react fast enough to get away from him. I was too busy looking in front of me, I wasn't watching behind me. So that's the thing, you really gotta watch all around you at all times. You can't just be focused on what's in front of you. I haven't really ventured to this side of the cell much, so. Alright, so the exit has opened, so now we just need to make it there. Luckily, it appears rather close. There we go. And Zeta Stage 1 is completed. Now, if you exit, you will have to repeat the stage. You won't be able to just, like, it's not like a checkpoint once that round is done and then you get to start right at the second one. No, you will have to begin at 1. So there isn't really a checkpoint. So weird, looks like claws coming out of the ground. This is a very hairy looking cell. Looks like it's covered in fur. We have more area to move around at least here. Jeez, look at these things. They almost look like those things on the bottom of the sea. I can't think of what they look like, but they basically just look like exactly like these things here. I don't know what they're called, but they do look like an animal in the ocean. I don't remember what they're called though. They look pretty much exactly like that. I wish I could think of the name. Alright, I gotta focus. I have more area here, more room to move around. There's not as many enemies and I'm still crashing. I really gotta focus more. There's no excuse why I should be taking as much damage this time. This actually seems like an easier stage than the one before it. So there would be no excuse for me to die on this one. Power-up scared me there. I thought it was an enemy at first. Alright. The exit has opened. Now we gotta pick these up here. And I'm gonna head that in that direction while picking up any currency I can. There we go. This area has been purified. Here's another bonus stage. Pretty trippy how fast it moves. Oh. I did 1 second more than my last one. I was there 36 seconds, where before I did 35. So I lasted a second longer there. There's the invisible ones again, the invisible enemies that camouflage themselves. They're back. They are some of the most dangerous enemies simply because of their ability to do that. Sometimes they can sneak up right behind you and you don't even realize they're there. See? Just like that. I didn't even know he was there at first. Alright guys, I'm going to give this world one more try. There's my overall. I'm going to try Zeta one last time. And then whenever I die is when I'll end the stream. I'm really going to try to focus here more, so I may be a little more quiet. That's how I usually am when I'm playing video games, and I'm really trying to concentrate. I'm as silent as can be. I'll have people in the party talking with me, and sometimes I don't even realize they're talking to me because I'm so focused on the game.
Guaranteed.
Ow. This area is definitely more difficult than the next round. There's just so many areas where enemies could be hiding. This guy hiding behind here. They try to be sneaky. I'm sure those worms that burrow inside of the cell, I'm sure that they'll be back. They'll make a return at some point, I'm sure. They might have a different look to them, I'm not 100% sure, but I know at some point they make a return in the game. We haven't seen the last of them. And I'm glad there was no time limit, so you can be extra careful. You don't have to worry about rushing to kill the enemies. You can take your time and play it safe. This is more, I don't know why I used that. I hit that by accident. This is more about really playing it careful rather than trying to kill all the enemies as fast as possible, which is required in some other twin-stick shooters. In this one, you can play it more careful. This one wasn't too bad, this stage here. They do take quite a few shots before they are destroyed. Got to be really careful because sometimes enemies will try to box you in. They'll completely surround you and attack you from all directions. See, this one just appeared right in front of me. He just spawned in right next to me. That can be a real pain when they spawn in right next to you. But I really like this game. This is one of my top 3 dual stick shooters. My favorites. Now I've had this one for quite a while. This game has been out for quite a long time. And it was one of the first games I ever purchased on PlayStation 4. And at one time, I was pretty good at it. I mean, I wasn't making the leaderboards, you know, like at a really, you know, high number, a great score, but I was good at it, and I could make it through like 3 or 4 stages or so without even getting hit at one time. I was pretty good. We have 0 monies now. We're broke. I really got to be careful here so I don't die. I forget what the boss of this particular area looks like. I think they're all very bug-like, if I can remember correctly. They kind of look like either mutated or alien bugs. They are just coming at me from all directions very quickly. They're not letting me have a moment. I'm so afraid I'm going to turn this corner and one will be right there. And it's not like it only takes a single shot to kill them. I don't know why he started walking away from me. It's funny. Wow, they seem like they take a lot of shots. So that was another type of power up there. Alright, so the exit has opened. We have to carefully make our way towards it. Don't want to die when the exit opens up. That's the worst way to go out. Alright. Alright, the bonus stage. Let's see if I can last longer than 36 seconds. Let's see if I can make it to at least 37 seconds. Collect more currency. Oh, nope, 24 seconds. I used to actually be pretty good at that too. I actually was able to make it a lot longer. But when you don't play, that's what happens. We got a lot of money. We were broke before. And here's the second world's boss. Looks like a weird plant. Kind of like a weird mutant insect mixed with a plant. I'm going to try my hardest not to die. I'm going to try to keep more of a distance. I'm too afraid to get close to try to use like my power-ups. I would rather keep a safe distance. We got him. I used one of my super moves. And that did the job. We defeated him. Nice. And now this cell has been purified, and now we have unlocked another world, another new area. So now all this progress is saved. We will not have to repeat these stages again. You can if you wish, but you don't have to.
Unlocked.
So now we have unlocked a new area. And this is where I'm going to stop because I want some of the other areas to be a surprise for newcomers to the game. I don't want to reveal everything. I never want to spoil a game completely, so that way if people do purchase the game, there will be some surprises left for them. I haven't just revealed everything the game has to hold. I want them to have some surprises on their own. I don't even remember what all the enemies are going to look like and what the final bosses are going to be like, so I want to leave some mystery and some surprises for people. But yeah, let's see. We have 2-player modes. I do not believe that this is online, so it is couch co-op. We have arcade mode, and then we have where you can look at the credits, all the people that have made the game. And yeah, so that's Nano Assault Neo X, a great dual-stick shooter to add to your collection. And I really hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate it so much. And I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope everybody has a great day. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great night.